Welcome back to All the Crackers in the Box. Hi, it's me, your friend Corey. And I feel like doing a few more rows to get this bowl part done. It's looking pretty good. It's getting nice and stiff in the best way. Because, this part was poking out pretty hard. But it's doing a lot better. Anyways, we're getting there. I'm super excited to get this done. And I'm really glad you're here today. Thank you for being here. Alrighty, so I'm just working on this project still. Let's see if I can get you a good spot where I'm comfortable and you are comfortable and you can see what I'm doing. Let's see here. Let's readjust. I am trying. But unfortunately, my arms and my back are being very finicky, so I actually really do need to have this lap pillow. So there is a trend out there where everybody is using these crochet pillows. You put them on your lap, they're half circles, and all that good stuff. However, technically, if you really want to go with it, you can use a maternity pillow instead, which I am using. I was about to start getting ready to get rid of these kind of things because, I'm done having babies and all that good stuff. And then I saw that people were using a similar pillow, not pattern, to help relieve fatigue in their shoulders and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm going to absolutely try that. I already have 2 pillows. I got a long one and a breastfeeding one. Yeah, it's the breastfeeding pillows that normally get used. There. Sorry, my brain is just running on empty lately. There. That might be where I need to be. Sorry about all that. Like I said, I want us all to be comfortable. Sip on my iced coffee. I got a kitchen to clean up soon. And I think I might take my daughters out for a nice little walk. That'll be lovely. It's a nice spring day. We live 2 doors down from a bird sanctuary, and it's a nature reserve. So it's left wild. We have turtles and all sorts of fun birds live there. My building actually has done something really cool too. My apartment building is part of a pilot program through the company that we rent through, and they are creating areas for beehives. So we actually have recently at Christmas, right around that, we received a tiny little jar of honey that our bees specifically made. It was like this big, and everyone in the building got one little jar. It was so cool. We were all super excited about it because, we do live in an area where there's farm and there's all this, but that was really a nice touch. We really felt the whole building really feels like it was really a nice touch. We have a lot of weird little dead corners outside the elevators and stuff. They just set them up in a weird shapes. We have stairwells that lead to dead ends. We're not sure why, but we think they were gonna add hot tub rooms and stuff like that to this place, and they didn't. The original people went bankrupt, so we're not 100% what the whole plans were because another company bought the building. It's been bought 6 times now. Anyway, and they had to finish it, and they decided to change a bunch of stuff, take out some extra bedrooms, but the bedrooms were already mostly done, so they just walled them off. So we got these spaces where there's windows that are for places that don't exist technically, unless you want to break down a wall. There have been people that have used those areas. Anyway, recently, up on my floor, they put in a free library. I thought that was so cool. My daughters were so excited. They went and grabbed a bunch of books to put out there. because they wanted to share some of the books that they aren't interested in reading or have read and decided they don't want to keep them, which is totally okay with me. A lot of the books we buy for them we get from the library, which helps go support the programs that they have there for the kids. And we went to the library yesterday and we walked in and, oh, they were giving out free coffee or tea if you wanted. I was like, yes, please let me sit down and have a coffee while my kids enjoy the ambiance of a library. They looked at books. They usually have a treasure competition. You need to find this, or you need to find this picture, or all these pictures of feet all over, and make a secret message is usually what it ends up being. So this foot has the letter T, this one here's the letter F. You know, like a scavenger hunt in a library. And then my girls love it. They love it. Every time we go to the library, it's, I can't wait to get my sticker or my little toy. And my girls usually end up getting both because they just, oh, but I would like one of those too. And librarians can't say no. It's funny. But at the same time, it's kind of like, ugh, these girls, everywhere they go, everybody's trying to give them stuff. Oh, these little sweethearts. Okay. So I'm really doing well with this one. I am trying to get this done. I have 5 days left. I have this big one here, and I have one I haven't even started. Whew, and the one I haven't even started is the one that the one I think is going to be the most time consuming for last, because I'm crazy like that. That last minute getting things done. I got 2 to sew up and 2 to make the pieces of and then sew up. So I've got about 4. That's like getting one a day done for the next few days on top of everything else I do. So that's going to be a super adventure for me, but I'm willing to do it. My son is very excited. He knows I've been working very hard on making him something unique for him. We are discussing bedding, maybe a nice blanket for him, but that is a lot of yarn, and I don't have blanket quantities of anything. I can get it, but it's going to take a little bit. I don't have the money for that in my pocket today, so I'm not going to rush out and do that, but maybe for Christmas, maybe I'll get something done for him. I mean, I got his dad's done, and that wasn't so bad. And the girls are hoping to get blankets too. Everybody seems to want blankets. We're getting into hot weather soon. I don't know about blankets, guys. That's a difficult summer make. Because, of course, once you get to a certain point, it's going to go in your lap. And it's just going to be too hot to work with these thicker, warmer fibers. Where I have... And I'm not crazy about the idea of doing a cotton blanket. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm just wanting to finish off the one I started with the Lost Souls, because it is really fun. That would make an interesting blanket with a good fleece behind it or something. That would look really interesting, I think. But I have been seeing some really cool stuff being done with cross-stitching over this. So what you do, you'd make something like this, and then you come back and you put your X's over each stitch. So I could totally, in theory, cross-stitch over this, which would be really interesting, I think. I've seen it done with like pillows and stuff, with pixelated pictures like Stardew Valley, for example. I am quite in love with those pillows. I wouldn't want to make them in a blanket yarn, but I do love the chickens. I love the Stardew chickens. They're so funny. And on my to-do list at some point, there's these little apple round little dudes called Junimos that are the guardians of nature. And yeah, I definitely want some. I need to get a Junimo for my display where my yarn is and all the stuffies are hanging out. So that is definitely on the to-do list. But that's a thing for me, so it's going to be a while. That's okay. I've got my mother's spring cardigan to finish up, because we're right at that time of year where I would like it done for her. I would like it done. And kabamo, another row is done. And I feel like I really don't have a problem with this mainstay. I know some people are finding that they don't like it. I don't know if it's the fact that it's a cheaper brand, if it's Walmart, any of that stuff. The only problem I've had is I found a couple spots where the yarn wasn't twisted or had gotten stuck, and it just turned into a bit of a fuzz, and it wasn't that bad. I've seen much worse things, so I'm not complaining. I do like the feel of it. It's holding my stitches lovely, right? It's not fuzzing out, it's not falling apart. It's looking very nice and uniform. I really like this. This is going to come out giving me the look I want for this character. There we go. I'm just really hard on myself for the color changes. I've seen a new technique recently that people are doing, and it did not work for me for the life of me. I could not get it to work. What you do is you slip stitch a row in your new color, and then you do your next row like you would with your new color, but you just don't count the slip stitch row as a row. I don't know. I've seen some pictures where people were saying it worked out great. I was supposed to do it with the Squidward, and I didn't. I just couldn't do it. I don't know if I have to practice my slip stitching and loosen it up a little, but I was finding it very difficult to get back into the stitches, and I didn't really dig how it worked out. But if I practice a little more, I'm pretty sure I could figure it out. I just haven't felt like doing it. I tried doing it with this particular one, with the boots, and it was just complicated enough. There was a whole section in the boots where you had to do the gray was in the front loop only, and then the white was specifically put into the back loop only. And so, one moment, I'll grab a piece and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so this would be the front loop only row. I think this was the better one, because the first one I had to come back and put the loop through. Yeah, this is the one I specifically knew I joined them before I ended off my gray. Yeah, that's the better one. This is my better version, and that is back loop right in here. This is all back loop only. So that just means that this has a little more of a 3D look to it. It gives a little more of a definition between the rows. And I think this is going to come out pretty alright. Pretty alright. I like the gray. They used a much darker gray in their pattern, and I mean, that's totally okay, but I didn't have a darker gray, so I thought what I had worked out well. I like it. I like it. No complaining. Now, where did I put my ring? Ah, here you are. So, we are still going around and around. These are my favorite kind of rows, and I'm just flying through them. Good old single crochet. It is a little tricky now that it's getting bigger to film it. One of my goals for this week as well is to straighten up my yarn corner. I have to turn my chair. My youngest is scared of it at night. She thinks that there's somebody living on it. It's actually my oversized Lululemon sweatshirt that's hanging on the chair because the back of the chair is broken. I need to get a new chair. That is a high priority for me, so I can actually use my area. I find that chair extremely uncomfortable. And it was simply because somebody picked it up by the back of the chair and the whole top of the back of it just snapped and came off. It wasn't even picked up in an aggressive way. It's just not a very well made chair. Like when you sit on it, like for me, at my size, I sit down and it just has that feeling where you feel like the chair is about to break and fall out from under you. Yeah, it's not a great feeling, that's for sure. Not my idea of a good time. Yeah, I think a nice little walk will be a good idea today. It's lovely out. It's quite sunny. It's a little bit balmy. We still need jackets and stuff, but you know, see if we find any baby snakes in the bird sanctuary. That'd be kind of fun. Lots of gardener snakes in there. And the turtles. I like the turtle pond. There's lots of weeping willows and beautiful trees. Maybe I'll, at some point, do a little filming over there and let you have a little view of how beautiful it really is. It's so amazing. And it is run by volunteers, people who want the environment to thrive. And it's lovely. It is really nice. And the whole community gets really upset when people abuse it, like dumping their garbage there and stuff like that. Oh, goodness. Almost there at the end of this row. And that in itself is super exciting. Because I'm that much closer to being done this part, because this part is probably the biggest piece besides the head. The arms and the tail. I think the tail had needed some wire. So the wire I'm using looks like 1,000 years old, right? This is, I have no idea how old this is. This is just out of the sewing stash that I have from my mom and grandma. Mom gave it all to me when she moved in. They're like, here, you hold on to this stuff. I said, okay, cool. And I do have proper wire cutters. I just don't have them out because I didn't want my daughters putting their fingers in them and snapping them, because they are very, very strong, very, very sharp. And I can see my kids being that kind of curious from experience. But I'm just using the same kind of wire you would use for beading or making jewelry, that kind of thing. And I'm finding it's working really well because it's not too thick, it's not too bad. So that works for me. I don't know if that's what everyone else uses, but that is definitely what I'm using. And because I have so many different kinds, I'm using the silver because I know the other kinds with the gold are gold plated, and I don't want the plating coming off and bleeding out into the yarn, so eventually coming out into the yarn and discoloring it. So that's where we're at today, my dear friends. Thanks for joining me here at All the Crackers in the Box, and I will see you again very soon. Bye. Absolutely. Welcome back. Okay, I'm just gonna fight with my thing here for a moment, and I gotta put my brace back on. Oh, sorry. I don't think you really want to watch what I'm watching. Oh my god.